Usually I don't upload any videos on the weekdays other than the weekends because that's usually my schedule. But for this one, I just had to make an exception. Like I had to talk. Like I can't wait. I just can't wait until the weekend to talk about this. Specifically Sunday, when usually Vince talks come out. Me doing this series where I talk about the news and I talk about, but I wasn't planning to ever be a news commentator in any sense, but man, I just really want to talk about all this stuff that happened between Amaranth and also with Bayonetta, especially all these other news where I'm just like, yo, there is so much that I miss when I actually released that Vince talk. No wonder it actually did low views. I don't know if it did low views. I'm not sure. But as I'm recording this, it probably did. And pretty much I could have added these topics, these hot topics to actually put in that Vince talk that I just, talk about, other news that is not surrounding all of this, like the updates of TwitchCon and also Kind of Funny. Pretty much what got my high is basically the Kind of Funny Studios, me talking about it because it's close to my area and also no one is really talking about it. But really though, this time I'm gonna make something that is interesting for me to make, which is a bonus of Vince Talk, which is basically the Vince Talk was yesterday as I'm recording this, and I decided to make a bonus because I wanted to make just an extra because man, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough sauce for basically that entire Vince talk, which it could have been longer. It probably wouldn't fit, but it would be like an hour just to like at least get everything in all the topics out. So pretty much for this one, I really and please. When it comes down to making these Vince talks, let me hear your opinions. Let me hear what you have to say with these kinds of news and stuff that is going on. Now, I really want to start off with the whole Amouranth thing of how she's treated. And I want to actually just say this before I begin. Listen, in no ways I'm actually a fan of Amouranth. I'm not really that big or at all when it comes to OnlyFans in any sense. I joke about it, but it doesn't mean I really, I mean, I don't care much about it. I mean, huge support and, mad love to actually anyone that is doing OnlyFans or whatever. Hey, that's you. I'm not concerned about that in any sense because, I mean, it's just nothing appealing to me, honestly, okay? I mean, the OnlyFans thing, yeah, I respect their hustle, but, I mean, if you ask me, I really don't care. Especially for Amouranth, a content creator that I keep hearing the news because of her, quote unquote streams of how it's like how Twitch is allowing it and stuff like that. And to me, it's like, yeah, whatever, I mean, I heard the whole story when she was in TwitchCon of the stalker trying to, follow her, but that's it. But now this story came out about how she's abused from, her boyfriend and, well, actually her husband. And it just like, it brings a lot of like, it's just certain, signs of just stuff I just hate about this husband, especially for the amounts of people that are on Amaranth's side and how she felt. Now, I can't give you all the details. Other channels can actually do better than what I do, especially anything else when it comes to news and whatever. But like when this whole Amaranth story really got me and I just can't really hold it. I just got to talk about it and just say, that I don't know what's going to happen. Like having somebody that is your significant other, never trust them to actually, give them social medias or whatever, because it really would, it would not go pretty, especially, like always keep stuff to yourself just in case. I mean, depending on the amount of years that you've been together and whatever, if you're like at the point where you're at your 40s, yeah, maybe you can trust them. But man, for this relationship, I never thought it would go this bad. And this reminds me because I used to be in a relationship like this and pretty much not an abusive, like extreme, like what Amaranth is going through. But this whole story of surrounding her in that video really, I don't know. There was other channels. I mean, not other. There's other figures that actually been through this and other people I've seen in the internet. And I want justice for, the lover that is being abused. But for this one is like, another level, especially how it's streamed out there and how this crazy husband that has control of a lot of her social medias. Is there any way to actually, stop this, or, especially the damage that he has done in her life, especially what's going on? And I just really want to talk about this. Am I defending her in a sense? As a normal person, I should. I guarantee. Even though I don't really care about Amouranth, I don't care about, the other stuff, because the thing is that people are immediately, when I say, like I'm a huge fan of this creator and that creator, the only time I ever a huge fan of anyone that's in OnlyFans, if they're my, closest friend. I have zero friends. I have a couple friends. I have zero friends that are actually ever in that industry. And, like, it's something that is usually never on my radar to actually really care about much. But, I feel for, like, what she's going through, because she really doesn't deserve that at all. Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. So hopefully there will be some legal, stuff going on in the background to actually help, Amouranth within this, because from what I heard and what she's, how manipulative, I believe, and also how abusive the husband is, like, it's just something that it's just unacceptable. And I don't know what else to really bring around this other than saying, I hope the best for Amouranth, and hope for, for a better future, that, this man is away from her life. But man, it is crazy, and I believe that most people would, when they see this, I always want to hear, my channel's opinions, especially my audience, because it being mostly female, I always am curious, how do you see this? Because it's mostly men that I hear opinions when it comes down to talking about this. And really, there's not a lot of women that I heard talking about the whole Amouranth situation. I mean, there's a few, like Vitaly or whatever, but there's, or Alenity, not Vitaly, sorry. Like some creators, okay, that's kind of close to her. But really, though, this is just this is terrible for Amouranth, okay? That's all I have to say. When I saw the news, I was just like, damn, okay, I had some stuff to say. I don't know where it is, but I kind of forgot it as I'm recording right now. As it's usually is, should be when it comes down to recording anything, when it comes, to me doing these videos, because sometimes I forget about the topics, and that's why I have these notes. I'm just on a roll. I'm just I don't know if it's tunnel vision or something, but anyways, moving on. Speaking of OnlyFans, Markiplier is making an OnlyFans. I haven't watched Markiplier in a while. It's been a while. Pretty much, I don't really see much out of entertainment when it comes down to Markiplier. I feel like the most stuff that I watch is a lot of politics here and there, and also some emulator gaming stuff that I tend to catch by, and also my book channels that I follow, and news channels, of course, and also I have my other channel that, my second channel that I'm subscribed to. There's different sections, okay? In this channel, I actually watch certain geeky, nerdy stuff, and also book stuff and stuff like that. But in my second channel, being VinzTalk, which is my second channel, I watch a lot of skateboarding and dance battles and stuff like that. And pretty much, yeah, I don't know. Markiplier, I haven't been watching him ever since. I haven't been subbed to him for a while, because I just, the entertainment value of what he had just really falled off from me. I just haven't been really invested to actually see what he's up to, or what games has he been playing, because I don't know. And what's weird is that for the longest time, especially now, Markiplier, MatPat and Jacksepticeye would be the channels where I'm just one day I'm going to collab with them, even though I'm not subbed to them and I don't really catch up on them at all, So, I don't know. There's a part of me where it just wouldn't make sense if I did. But, moving on, Markiplier is making an OnlyFans, and I did not know he had a podcast. So immediately I'm like, well, I'm back to watching Markiplier in a sense of his podcast and what and all that. And I don't know what the OnlyFans is. He says for charity. I mean, what is for charity now? I feel like that's always a go-to. Yep, for charity. Understand that. Kind of funny said they're doing a charity for 24-hour streams. I mean, I totally, I don't know if I believe that. I feel like it's for the rent, which I'm cool with. Hey, if it's for the rent, that's okay, but, saying for charity. Charity for what, though? Excuse me. But moving on, because I want to make this a short VinzTalk and whatever. Bayonetta tree. This is something I could have talked about especially when it's surrounding the topic of voice actors. And for voice actors, 100% that they don't get paid as much. Guarantee that, you know? It's just like for Bayonetta, you know, itself is a very synonymous and pretty much a prestige character within Nintendo, okay? Within gaming itself, probably. Now, I'm not really big into Bayonetta. I like to think of myself as kind of look like Bayonetta with the glasses and black hair. Like, I don't know, like it's just she really strikes. She kind of looks like like, she would be my mom. That's for sure. And she's hot. Okay, there you're happy there. I said because that's kind of like the appeal with Bayonetta. She has full slayage, like, material. Okay, she just slays every moment that she's on the screen, and that's one thing that I always remember as Bayonetta. Is like, it's like over the top, like just action and just her, just stunning and posing. But right now there's been a movement going on in Bayonetta 3, as I call it, and it's basically boycotting Bayonetta 3 because of like the voice actor being the original voice actor of Bayonetta did not really get paid as much when it comes to working for this title. And I believe I'm not sure it's working or after the work that she has done, because if it's after all the voice acting roles that she has done for Bayonetta 3 and she only get paid like 4,000, it's not enough. And here's the thing I want to go into is that I think one thing that my boy Stefan has told me is that, know what's your worth, and, know what, like, I remember telling him when I did like sponsors and whatever, sponsor videos for this particular channel, it would be like, $100 and whatever, it's a good amount. It's a good amount, but it's not enough. And I remember showing him that at first we were like, yo, look at me getting this cash or whatever. With, ad revenues and sponsorships and whatever. And I remember, like, later on, like, he told me, like, you know what, you could have got paid for like 1,000. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. That's a little bit. And, all the numbers would be mixed up. Like, I think there was like some moment where I had this idea of actually, or maybe not an idea. My boy Stefan is a artist, producer, and whatever. Used to make songs for like, the channel. And basically, I think when I asked him like, hey, if you would perform anywhere, because there was like a concert going on in a mall that we were hanging out. And I told him like, man, look at that concert. Like, can you imagine performing there? And he said like, nah. But I asked him like, okay, how much would they pay you just to perform there? Like, what would be the toll for you, like your fee for actually, performing? And he said something crazy, like, I don't know if it's crazy or nothing, but he said something like $100,000. And I'm like, I don't know if a mall has done enough money to actually pay you, especially in this day and age with inflation. But I remember him saying something like, like a label or whatever, like it better be giving me like, $500,000 or something. And I remember hearing these different points of like, how much you get paid and worth and whatever. And for a lot of people, I feel that same vibe when especially hearing from the voice actor for Bayonetta 3, is that knowing what is your worth, like knowing how much you deserve to get paid. I hear this a lot within the dance community. Like, oh, you're paying me to actually judge this dance battle for like 100? Nah, you better give me like, 50K, like something like that from a dance podcast. And I remember hearing that. I'm like, that is kind of true. Like, especially if you don't have sponsors or anything, or whoever you dance for, what label, like, it's just like, making a living off what you love to do, for sure, and I really did talk about that between me and him, as we're both creators, that yeah, one day we really do need to seriously make money off of what we do. In some ways I'm sort of in doing that, but I understand that I don't really have that much when it comes to what I'm worth. I don't make a lot of money because look at my views in my channel. It's not doing good, okay? But a lot of times I don't really do it for the money. I just do it for what I love to do because of my love for reading and me making this library of different reads of romance that I want to showcase in my channel. Just making it nice and beautiful and something that I have many dreams of creating within that genre. But it a lot of times, knowing what's your worth really sits on to like, understand your talents and what you have done. For Bayonetta Tree, the voice actor for Bayonetta Tree, she is a fully trained voice actor. She said something like she had a PhD or a degree or anything like that that she had when studying to be a voice actor, and how very known, and also the amount of money that Nintendo has made from Bayonetta Tree. And I understand her point when she said boycotting, Bayonetta Tree. I don't know if, like for me, instance, if you were to ask me like, hey, would you boycott Bayonetta Tree? I'll be okay. Honestly, yes, because I honestly don't care about Bayonetta that much. But if I did, I would have to reconsider and find ways to actually ever play Bayonetta Tree. Like crap, if I can't play, like how am I gonna play Bayonetta Tree? Especially for other people that has been waiting for Bayonetta Tree. Like, are they gonna even listen to her? Because that is a sad thing to note. And for some people, some of you might be like, oh, $4,000 is a good amount, but it's not a good amount to actually make off a living off. Okay, not a good amount to pay the rent. But 4,000, like, I don't know, that price, when it comes down to the thousands, I'm like, cool, especially if you ask me to do a specific sponsored video, like that's a lot. I mean, shoot, 4,000. But when you ask me to do like a 5-hour live stream of a sponsorship related, kind of brand or something, like for the channel or anything, or have this ultimate production, like I have to actually fly to go to a certain area that you have to have me in, and I have to pay my own hotels and whatever. Yeah, I would ask for much more bigger. It depends, actually. It just depends on what it is that you want me to do, and what is the work, and what am I gaining from, and this is a certain conversation that would actually, I mean, we would be here for hours, like just talking about this and give you like different examples and stuff like that. And other people have their own opinions when it comes down to what they're worth. If you're a talented individual that is like an artist, a YouTuber, and you've done this for years and you feel like you deserve more, guarantee this, 4,000 is just not a lot, especially if you have kids. I don't know if she has kids, the voice actor for Bayonetta, but if she does, then she needs more than 4,000. She needs 400,000 to actually feed her kids, or set them for life. I don't know. That could be a lot for some people, but you know what I mean. It's like something that is your worth. Like, I feel like there's many parallels to actually talk about this more, but other than that, I'm just gonna leave it where it is. And I just, want to know your opinions about this whole situation within Bayonetta Tree, because it is really something. It's really something out there. And also, another news, G4TV has finally shut down. And pretty much that is, sad for anyone else working there, the layoffs. Even though, yes, most of them might blame for Frost. And Frost, in some ways, sort of, really cracked the earth of G4TV, as the signs were there. But man, for many companies, especially, and this was another topic going on around surrounding Rooster Teeth, G4TV, Rooster Teeth. At this point, I don't know if Kind of Funny is going to be, continuing, or what they have to offer to actually pay the rents or whatever. But from what I seen, like I feel like Kind of Funny is the biggest one out there. It could be earning more money than Rooster Teeth or G4TV, but man, G4TV laying off and stuff like that, that's to be sad. And also, of course, I was going to talk about the Rooster Teeth as a lineup from, following from the whole G4TV thing. But, here I am mentioning it now. Alana Pierce basically made, and she's a YouTuber that is, used to work for Rooster Teeth. Now she's worked for some gaming brand or something that involves like making games. I think it's Santa Monica Games or whatever. But she made a video of like, the work, kind of like, the workplace or the conditions of working in Rooster Teeth, and how tired it was, to the point where like she was so stressed that she developed a certain skin cancer, I believe, that really affected her, which had to be, very, that has to be sad. And also, like, it seems like, I don't know if G4TV will go down to that route. I don't know what's happening with these companies as well, but man, it just seems like, for a lot of these particular companies when it comes to like content creation or whatever in the gaming, community, like it's sort of like falling off. It's falling off pretty bad. And I don't know how they're gonna really change that or anything. But man, I was looking at this whole entire story. It's like there's no chance of them surviving. Rooster Teeth is on the next. Okay, it's the next one in the chopping block. G4TV was an example of that. What's gonna happen to Rooster Teeth? I'm just starting to notice a pattern here. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wish the best for anyone else, especially this particular individual from Twitter in G4 that basically now worked for G4TV, and of course you already know what happened. That she had to go to her parents' funeral, and especially discovering like, hey, having no job anymore, basically not having a job, but didn't has to go to a funeral, and that has to be sad for the many people that work for G4TV, that have families, that have expenses to pay. I mean, this is the world we live in, knowing that we have to really decide on what path to go to when it comes down to our future and what we have. Like, don't ask me for advice when it comes to that. Okay, I'm still discovering. I'm still trying to find out. I'm just running as fast as I can just to get to somewhere that I know that I will call home. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but you know what I mean. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this extra VinzTalk. Okay, I understand that. Oh gosh, I'm trying to make this entertaining. I don't know what it is that really captures you guys. You guys gotta let me know. Okay, is it? And I understand it's mostly the let's reads, but I'm starting to notice the viewer rate is kind of low, and that's not a good thing. So I gotta figure out, like, I really want to know from your guys' point of view, because some of you won't tell me. Sometimes y'all won't tell me, but you gotta tell me, okay? I don't know. I don't know if you made it all the way up to this video, but hopefully you did. And if you did, tell me what is the best for this channel. Anyways, I'm out here. One love and a peace.